I've been thinking about that question in general terms since Trump first deployed National Guard troops out here in California last summer. And if there are any National Guard members following me, please let me know in the comments. I've never served in the military or the National Guard. My dad's generation in my family, my mom's generation, didn't serve in the military or the National Guard. My grandparents' generation, a lot of them fought and served in World War II. But, so I don't have that kind of heritage or experience just in my family line, in my generation and the one before me. But it's like I had a lot of friends from high school who went into the military and then went into the National Guard and then got deployed multiple times to Iraq and Afghanistan. And, you know, I mean, National Guard members in normal times, they serve 1 weekend a month and 2 weeks during the summer. And then they have jobs, they have families, they have careers, they have homes. And, the idea that you're talking about, and I don't want to put this out there lightly. I don't want to put this out there lightly. The idea that you're talking about is a governor deploying National Guard troops, activating and deploying National Guard troops to go up against ICE agents, to go up against Customs and Border Patrol agents, and essentially go into battle against them on residential streets in American cities. I, I feel like that's what we're really talking about. National Guard troops being activated and deployed with weapons and live rounds to go up against ICE agents and Customs and Border Patrol agents and shoot at each other in the streets. I mean, these ICE agents are fucking unhinged. They are unhinged and they are armed. And they are killing people. They are killing people in the streets. Again, I'm getting sick to death of using this word, unprecedented. Unprecedented. I mean, we're talking about, when we talk about things like this, I feel like we're talking about, 1859 and 1860, 1861 in the United States. But that's my understanding of what that would be. And that's my understanding of what people are talking about when I get these kinds of comments. Why aren't blue state governors deploying their National Guard against these federal officers and agents? There's a tactical advantage or a strategic advantage, I guess, in a blue state governor activating their National Guard before Trump can come in and activate them and federalize them. So maybe a timing thing, I don't know. But we're talking about, I mean, I guess I'm saying, let's just get real about this. We're talking about National Guard troops from Minnesota and Minneapolis shooting ICE agents and ICE agents shooting back at them. Because I've never seen a bigger trigger happy bunch of fucking morons in my life than ICE. I mean, how many videos have we seen this week of ICE agents pulling their fucking sidearms or their rifles and pointing them in the faces of unarmed protesters, apart from what Jonathan Ross did to Renee Good last week on a residential street in broad daylight, surrounded by hundreds and hundreds of people who were filming him. They believe they are untouchable, and they are itching to start killing people. And so it's like deploying the National Guard against that is going to result in a lot of dead bodies. A lot of dead bodies. A huge number of dead bodies. And Donald Trump ramping up, because he never backs down ever from anything, ever. And it's becoming increasingly more challenging for me on a daily basis to even contemplate or analyze these kinds of questions in anything that resembles a rational manner, because there's nothing rational about any of this. Donald Trump has occupied an American city because it's run by Democrats. Minneapolis is under occupation right now. There are 3 times more ICE agents than there are police officers in Minneapolis. Minneapolis is an occupied city by the federal government, not a foreign government. Hasn't been taken over by a foreign government, hasn't been invaded by a foreign government. It's been invaded by our own government because the president doesn't like the politics of the people who run that city and that state. And it is a test run for the midterms. It is a test run for what Donald Trump is going to do in blue cities with ICE and Customs and Border Patrol and military troops on Election Day this year. There is nothing rational about any of this. And so it becomes very challenging and very difficult to analyze very relevant questions and concerns in a rational manner. That, my favorite mixture of metaphors, it's like that ship has left the station. That bus has sailed. But at the root of it, it's like we're talking about Americans killing Americans. When we talk about stuff like this, we're talking about Americans killing Americans. Whether they're wearing a uniform, whether they're wearing a federal uniform, whether they're wearing a state uniform, or whether they're wearing no uniform at all. We're talking about Americans killing Americans. That's what we're talking about when we're having this kind of a conversation. We're talking about Americans killing Americans. But that's where we're at. That's where we are. That's where we are. We're talking about Americans killing Americans at the behest of a convicted felon and an adjudicated rapist.